Call to the honourable member for Cowper.
My question is to the Prime Minister. AMP's Deputy Chief Economist Diana Messina has said the high pace of immigration is not compatible with the level of housing supply that we have in this country. We're just not building enough homes to keep up with our population growth. Why won't the Prime Minister admit that his decision to let in a record 547,000 migrants last year has been a significant reason for his homegrown housing crisis?
Call to the Prime Minister.
I thank the member for Cowper for his question. He speaks about migration during the period in which we've been in office, and I suggest he should join those who stand up in the coalition party room and question the leadership of this bloke. Because on the Leader of the Opposition had this to say in September 2022. We do need an increase in the migration numbers. It's clear the number needs to be higher. He went on to say later that year, just in case that you think that was a one-off, in addition to a domestic workforce, of course we need migration, we need migration. In his first budget reply, the Leader of the Opposition boasted, "I brought in record numbers of people." That's what he had to say in his first budget reply. Well, what we've done is we're cutting the numbers. We're cutting the numbers in half. We are cutting the numbers in half. That's just a fact. And we know that Dr. Martin Parkinson, who served under those opposite as the head of the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet, had this to say after his review. This is a 10-year rebuild. This is not something you can do quickly because it is so badly broken. It was a deliberate decision to neglect the system. Christine Nixon, who did an examination as well, said, "I was surprised at the breadth, the sort of various areas where visas was used to then exploit people or for people to exploit the system." And of course, Dennis Richardson said a lack of proper due diligence resulted in public money being handed to individuals and businesses suspected of seeking to circumvent US sanctions against Iran, money laundering, bribery, drugs and arms smuggling into Australia and corruption.
The member for Prime Minister will pause and I will hear from the member for one on a point of order.
Just relevant, Speaker. It's about the 547,000 visas that were...
There's no point of order. If you ask a question regarding immigration numbers and then the impact that that has on the housing crisis, which the way the question was framed, the Prime Minister, with the respect to the member regarding direct relevance, if the Prime Minister is reading quotes not about immigration or not reading about the impacts, that would not be relevant. So I'm listening carefully, he's contesting the figures that were in the question, which he's entitled to do under the standing orders. He's just got to make sure his quotes and his references are regarding the topic, particularly on the numbers that he was asked about. And at this point he's doing that, so he is being directly relevant, and he has 1 minute to go for the remainder of his answer, and he has the call.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. What we've done is we've restored the immigration compliance function that was cut by the Leader of the Opposition by nearly 50%. We've increased the temporary skilled migration income threshold up to $70,000. We've ended the pandemic event visa, something that they left in place. We've cracked down on rorts in international education. We've implemented a $160 million reform package. We've imposed no further stay conditions on visitor visas. We're ending migration system settings that drove temporary visa holders to stay long-term, and we're introducing limits on international student numbers. We're taking action, as opposed to the mess that we inherited from those opposite.
Order.